Hello everyone, my name is Cetus and welcome back to my Let's Play of Europa, Eurosales Fall for Italy. In the last episode we attacked Switzerland, took one of the provinces we needed and gave the other one to Milan so that it would be a little easier to take later on. We also, instead of getting aggressive expansion, we made Switzerland give up territory to other countries, kind of dispersing the power and hopefully making our lives a little easier going forward and kind of making friends with some people. I'm kind of curious what Savory would ally me. That's interesting. My allies is good, and I think I have this. I have 2 available diplomatic slots. So they're extra friendly with me because I gave them a bunch of territory. Yeah, plus 78 because I gave them a bunch of territory. So it was a pretty effective run last time. We could have taken both of the ones we wanted, but I think it was something like 30 countries would be joining together to stop me if I took all that territory, so I didn't. So let's do this. Let's grab this alliance because friends are good. And great, we're friends now. Exactly what we wanted. Let's build is there anyone else who would be my friend? Anyone powerful who wants to be my friend? I've been distracted now, but more friends to defend me because the Ottomans don't like me, which would be great. Because I think I'm currently warned by the Ottomans. Yeah. Which means they will join in if I declare war on people. Oh, not that. Maybe it's just if you declare war on people next to the... Oh, I think it's just if you declare war on people next to the Ottomans. So basically, they're stopping me from expanding down here. Which is fine. We're not going to expand down there anymore. We just took a little land to help out. So the other thing we can do is grab our new idea. I was thinking about this a little bit in between recording episodes, and I'm going to go with trade. I don't actually think that that is necessarily the best choice I can make at the moment. Maybe a military one would be more powerful, or admin. There's a lot of possibilities here that I think would be more powerful, but we're trying to form Italy. We have access to one of the best trade nodes. I don't know, it just feels right to take the trade one. It just feels right. Doesn't mean it is right, but it feels it. So we're going to grab this first one, which improves our global trade power by 20%, which is just a net gain on all things trade, which seems great to me. A lot of our money comes from that. Importing iron, we will gain the mercantilism. Oh, I'm saying that differently every time today. Should pause on the recordings until I can speak. Or maybe I can never speak properly. Regardless. Okay, what do we got? Peace happening, people angry, None of that's very interesting. Austria is getting pretty powerful too. Like, look at that. This is a really weird world map. Like, with Austria having all that and Ottomans being way up this far north and south, they are terrifying. Be interesting if this game just falls apart because the Ottoman Empire takes over the world. We can lose stability, which we can't afford because we only have 1. 0 is neutral. Having at least 1 is important. And it would cost us a bunch of admin power to get it back. We'll lose a little bit of power in each one because it spreads out the use of power a bit better. France wants to marry, of course. Always. France, you and I, always buddies. From now to the end of time. I'm going to pause here. Wait, what's going on? We should step in to limit any excess. Increase demand for books. Why is that a bad thing? Goods produced modifier goes up, trade value goes up, or we lighten regulations to benefit local entrepreneurs. We lose 1 base production in Genoa. Oh, we have a 25% chance of losing that, or a 75% chance of no effect, and Genoa gets unregulated economic growth, providing unrest and a bunch of... No, we'll control it. That's fine. That'll be fine. I'm impressed we're managing to make money despite the fact we're converting this province, which is costing something like 25 gold a turn. But it might be because I think, yeah, one of our advisors died. And that's why. And because we have so much money, we're going to grab another one because I'd rather pull in the admin power from having an advisor, or sorry, the military power from having an advisor than, save the money. I just grabbed a +1 guy because he's the cheaper. I didn't pay too much attention to what it was. Still some degree of helpful. Again, I'm just in it for the power. Military power. How's the conversion going? I guess I could look over here. 60%. That's pretty good. Is the other province? Yeah. Yeah, we're doing good on that front. So we need our aggressive expansion to go down because we upset a whole bunch of people. But while we wait, hang on, let's come into our macro for diplomatic stuff. We only have one dealing with outraged characters. Oh, because we have this one. Wait. This was Florence, wasn't it? Why is this now Tuscany? Like, I'm pretty sure this was Florence not that long ago. Now it is Tuscany, and now they're allied to France. So taking territory from them is going to be a nightmare. Okay, well, whatever. We wouldn't want it to be easy and simple. That would be ridiculous. So we're going to stop improving relationships with these guys because they're not going to like us enough to be able to vassalize them, which is disappointing because it's the whole reason I made friends with them. The Papal States is down to 1 territory. That's unfortunate for them. Doesn't really matter to me though. I mean, I own their capital, so they're never going to like me. So what I wanted to do with my 2 diplomats is we're going to build a spy network over here. And we're going to build a spy network up over here in Milan. And basically we're going to get claims on the 2 provinces we need. So when we have the opportunity, we're ready to go. We still can't call that other province because we're converting it still. We have the power to invest in the military tech. And we're ahead of time now because we did that. So let's do that. We'll grab our better reinforced speed, which is great. And I think we got our last... Yeah, we got our last national idea, which is +1 yearly legitimacy, which is great. We have rebel issues from this province. They are grumpy that we're converting it, but we're going to convert it really quick. So I bet you that's going to go away. Unless they're still going to be grumpy they were converted. We can lose Navy tradition and gain Army tradition, or we can lose less Navy tradition. We have, like, no Navy tradition. Because we've barely been fighting at sea, somehow. So we'll do that and gain the Army. These guys are still grumpy, but it's only 15k. So we'll let them spawn and our Army will just stop them and we'll move on with life. We'll start coring that. Now it's converted. We're doing so good we can either improve our tax base, manpower base, or production base in this country. What I should do is look and see what the money is, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to grab the tax because I don't want to think about it. This army that isn't doing anything, let's have you drill. Get that army professionalism up. Try and get to that 40% so we can refill garrisons. That actually seems really quite useful. And how are you guys in grumpy factor? 8.1 grumpy. Oh, unlawful territory. So that's an interesting thing to discuss. We have a +10 negative modifier to them. I guess +10 isn't a negative modifier. We have +10 unrest. We want negative modifiers because it's unlawful territory, which is, I was kind of talking about this in the last episode. This province is owned by the Holy Roman Empire, which is currently, the emperor is Austria. They can demand that we give the territory back. And they probably would if they hadn't just been in a giant war and been kind of thrashed. So that is dangerous for us. We can stop them. Once we core it and it's fully integrated into our country and it's ours, they can't take it back. So the goal, the hope, is that we will call this before Austria thinks they can attack me and win. I am friends with France, though. I will always be friends with France if I have any say in it. So we should be good. I'm also noticing now that we have enough spy network over in Milan to grab our claim. So let's do that. And we don't want their other province. I mean, we kind of do, but we're basically going to form Italy and then decide whether we continue or not from there. My guess is we won't, but we'll see what we do. So we'll grab that and we'll pull him back because he doesn't need to be building spy networks. He could do more useful things. And it looks like we have enough over here in Fiona as well. So we will grab our claim on the one we want, have a claim for 25 years, and we will pull back our spy network. So that's great. There's our rebellion. Our army will go in and crush it. And everything's great. So now we'll have them drill as well because there shouldn't be as much rebellion. Because when you defeat one, there's kind of you get a negative, I guess. I always want to say a positive modifier because you think of positive as a good thing, but when it comes to unrest, positive is the negative. So we get a negative modifier for having just crushed an uprising. So recent uprising minus 100 unrest. So we don't have to worry about it. And we have fulfilled a mission? Oh, make a large treasury. So we get a temporary reduction in inflation of 0.1 per month, which is nice. The next one in this tree is building manufactories. I haven't talked about this much because the Naples one is frankly boring. If we ever play a game where we'll play a country where there's one more interesting, we'll get into that a lot more. A lot of the bigger countries like France and England, the Ottomans even, pretty much all the big ones too. What were we doing? I got distracted. We have 2,000 gold. We should build some things. We could build some better forts. That's actually interesting. Some better forts would be very helpful. So where are our forts? Let's do a little fort check. We haven't thought about that or discussed that for a while. So the idea behind it, an individual fort exercises a zone of control on all the provinces around it. The bonuses are if that province is sieged down by rebels or someone else, it isn't as negatively affected if there's a fort that exists nearby. And enemy troops can't walk by it. So for us, this is great because this is such a straight and narrow thing. So if we have this fort here, which that's actually a really good place because it gets all the ones around it, they have to siege this down before they can move past here. Or 2 away is down here and they have to walk this way. But you'll notice I have a fort down here as well, which is fantastic. And then down here, we have Roma, which protects everything. Our capital has one because it's our capital. And then we have one down here on this little island just to kind of help out. And Cairo has one as well, which isn't the best position for us. We would really want it here to protect all our provinces. I don't think we're going to worry down here so much, but I am kind of tempted to upgrade this one to a level 4. And I'm going to do that for 190 gold. It will be way harder to take. I could technically up Genoa as well. I don't think I am. I might do Roma. Oh, what's the pricing difference? Maintenance is 1.8 per turn versus 9. So it's bonus of +1. So I'm making 32 gold a turn. So I can actually afford to do Genoa, Roma, and let's do Cairo. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that. My kitten, which I didn't, she was sleeping on my desk, so I didn't move her in between recording episodes, and now she is smashing things off my desk. But we'll just ignore that. It's probably fine. It's probably fine. I'm actually going to put one here, which is where I really want it. I'm going to delete the one in Cairo. Hopefully they don't attack while this builds. That's maybe getting ahead of myself, but that's fine. And then I think we'll be pretty well protected. I'm pretty happy with that. We have 1,000 left, so let's grab 2 factories. We'll grab a factory in Cairo. which gives us plus 0.38. And Palomo? That's great. We'll build up and get stronger. We make so much money. Plus 33 gold a turn. This is why let's take a look at our economy. I bet you this is mostly trade. Taxes bring in 16 a turn, production 20, and trade 21. So it's not all trade. Trade is about a third, slightly over a third of our income, but it's a huge pot. Oh, in that country, Switzerland is paying us 0.86 a turn because we made them, which is fine by me. So let's take a look. Things are really going quite well for us and stable. The only thing slowing us down now is trying to not make all of Europe hate us at the same time. Artillery is more expensive. That's fine. Savory wants to marry us. That's fine. The more royal marriages you have, the better chances of getting heirs you have. So it's useful, and the more the people you're married to like you, and you know, if they happen to die without an heir, we might be able to claim it. Now we could grab Defender of the Faith, which would be interesting. It gives you a bonus missionary, bonus to morale of armies and navies, war exhaustion happens less, and you gain more prestige, but technology costs more. I don't think we're going to grab it because the negative of having it, or one of the main negatives, positives depending on how you think of it, is because you're a Defender of the Faith, you have to defend the faith, which means anyone of the same religion that gets attacked, you defend them. Are we back to being a great power? Did we regain that? We did. We're number 7, right above Portugal. Unsurprisingly, the Ottomans are number 1. Surprisingly to me, Castile is number 2, followed by France. Great. I kind of expected, like, France seems like it's doing fine, so I kind of expected them to be higher. I went into this map mode and I didn't really look at anything. Minus 18, minus 33, minus 33. They won't go to war with me because we're allied. What do the Ottomans think of me? They don't care. Austria is minus 18. I'm trying to work out if I can go to war, because I like going to war. And there's a lot of territory I need. Like there's a lot of territory I need. And I don't know how I'm going to get it. Enough people have problematic allies. Okay, so I could technically try and grab these two at the same time. But if I do that, I have to take into account much larger aggressive expansion. So I probably need to wait longer and let it all die down. I don't know how I'm going to attack Tuscany, because Tuscany is allied with France, Provence, and a bunch of other people. But more importantly, France, who are my best buds. And I don't want to make them my enemy, because France is like the main thing protecting me from Austria. Actually, I might be more powerful than Austria now. Where are they on this? Nope, they're more powerful than me still. They're one above me. Okay, let's wait a little bit. Let's push forward and buy myself some more time. We'll grab the next Diplo one, which gives us a new merchant. So this should be, oh, what do we do? Foreign talent. We hire him for 500 gold, gain a bunch of professionalism, and Tuscany hates me, which is fine. We're going to attack them one day. Or we rely on our own people, and Tuscany loves me for it. 5% army professionalism for 500 gold. You know what? No, we'll make Tuscany like me. But let's talk about merchants, because I have a new merchant. I don't think I ever did, because I think I left them where they were. Merchants, you can use them to try and direct where trade moves down these. There's all these lines that multiply. So, for example, Alexandria, we have a merchant here who is trying his best to direct trade to the Genoa trade node. So, following this line up to Genoa, which I have a huge chunk of. I have 24% of this trade node, so I get 24% of all the gold in this place. So you want to kind of direct it forward. The other one I have is in Venice, and he's doing the other thing they can do. So merchants can either move where trade goes, because the idea is you want it to move down you can see all the flow of trade, right? You want it flowing as far down as you want. You can up to your capital, and then you collect it at the end where you get the most gold. The other thing merchants can do is just straight collect gold, which we have one doing in Venice. The problem is there is a penalty to collecting trade in a place where your trade capital isn't, so it's not as effective. It's much better to get the gold to your capitals, your trade capital, and collect it there. But Venice is a trade node that we have a decent chunk of, 12% of, and it is one of the 3 final trade nodes, so trade can't be moved past it. So we might as well collect from it and get what gold we can. There are only 3 trade nodes that don't move forward. Venice is one, Genoa is the other, and then up here the English trade node is the final one. My brain stopped there for a moment, sorry. So what we can do with ours is kind of try and move more trade towards Genoa. So we have a couple of choices. We have 12% of this trade node down here. So we could try and push it up. There's how much gold coming in here? There is no incoming trade to this node, which means nothing is coming from Africa, because Africa is getting pretty colonized at this point. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong map mode to tell that. Yeah, Portugal has a bunch of Africa, so it's starting to flow trade, but it's probably not too potent right now. So no trade is coming up, but it's still 2.77 gold. Of that, Tuscany is managing to pull 73 of that gold, and 2.04 of that gold is flowing downstream. Right now, it is being flowed towards Sylvia trade node, which is going to be Castile. So we could try and push some of that 2.2 gold up to Genoa. There is a ton of gold over here in the Aleppo trade node. There is a total of 11.74 outgoing. That number seems wrong, because there's 11.9 going up to Constantinople and 1.51 coming down to the Alexandria trade node. And that's because, as you can see, there's a lot going on here, a lot of trade flowing up. And again, as the game continues, more land gets colonized, more countries get developed, have better production, trade starts flowing up at huge amounts, and you can make a ton of money if you have enough control over things. I think what we're going to do is have our trade merchant come here and push it down into Alexandria. So let's do that, and let's just see what difference it makes. So he'll get there in 13 days. Right now, 1.51 gets pushed down, and we push 5.13 up, and let's see how that changes. So that is an increase of 1 gold down and about 0.08 up. So it's not massive. I'm not entirely too surprised. We have what? We only have 6% of this trade. No, that's what's going on here. We might have gotten a little more by pushing it up here, because it's flowing through less, but there's so much more money here. Long term, I kind of want to gain control. And what I can do now is put a trade fleet over here to give me a little bit more power and try and shuffle the money down. So I will try and do that in the next episode, because for now, that is a good point to call it. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode.